Alright guys, back in another video. This one's an exciting one. This past weekend I went to the preliminaries and went 5-0 with this magnificent leader. If you guys didn't know, this leader actually was part of the winning deck from Nationals last year and was a highly represented deck and color combination. But this deck is way different than the old Storm deck. I don't even classify it anywhere near that deck. It's not as fast and it's much more defensive and offensive at the same time. I'll go into detail about how to play this deck and why I made every card choice for you. But first of all, I would like to shout out my team for helping me with this deck a little bit. I had an idea in my head after seeing a blue-yellow Hirudegarn deck that played the actual Hirudegarn package that I like to play the 7-drop, which I thought that last time I tried to do that with the mono blue deck, which was a little while back, I did not like it as much as I thought I would. The 7-drop himself is, well, the big, I think it's a 7-drop. The big guy, he is much harder to consistently get out, and you have to see the new free blocker and have the things to drop. It's just a little too hard to have Tapion, Hirudegarn legs, and all that shenanigans going on at one time. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I wanted to play a deck that's a little more aggressive and can maintain presence on your opponent's turn and on your turn. Now, when I get into card by card, I will slowly but surely tell you about matchups and things that have to do with it. But if you guys would like to see another video about this, please like the video. And if we hit 50 likes, I haven't hit 50 likes in a while on a video, I'll do another video on the matchup in depth between what exactly you're supposed to do. This deck's kind of skill based, and I would say I don't think every player should not just pick up this deck and just try to play it because they want to play it. Because it's kind of expensive, and because the Goku Black card is not that cheap, and the Secret Rare is not that cheap. But first of all, side note, before I get in this deck profile, the Vegito Secret Rare or Power Patara, whatever it's named, I did not have it for the event, and I replaced it with a card that was not nowhere near as any good, but luckily it didn't matter, even though it does matter a little bit, in my opinion, for percentages and chances of seeing a blue-yellow energy. But nonetheless, it is a very non-essential card to the deck to win. I won every game I played except for one, and that was because I didn't see some of my key cards, and my opponent saw everything they really needed. And I lost to the Secret Rare Raditz SS3, which is fair. I knew red would be a harder matchup for this deck when I built it. Well, let's get into the first card in order. We got All Too Easy. This is the first card that I can cut from this deck, in my opinion. This is the first card I would and possibly could cut from this deck. It is good in certain matchups, but a lot of times it's not as good as I want it to be because you don't have the ability to always have that one blue energy up just for the chances of negating one attack. Usually, it is much better to just negate with D Magic and resend the 2 energy, which is a 4 cost, 4 in this deck, and I'll get a little more detail why it's much more powerful in this deck than it is other decks. And we'll resend 2 energies for you to play your counterplays on your opponent's turn. Next thing I want to talk about is the relevance of Minosha in this deck and the legs. Hirudegarn the Wanderer is what we call the legs. I don't know if you guys didn't know. When you discard Minosha, you get to search out a Hirudegarn the Wanderer. Now, this card is a free +1 because your leader on the front side, if you didn't know, attacks, do discard a battle card. This is very key to note when you're recharging energies, and make sure you keep them with what you have in your hand to make sure you get that free draw on the front side and cycle. Now, Hirudegarn also untaps 2 when he awakens, which is very powerful. You kind of want to hold that for your push turn, and I'll get into detail a little bit more about how this deck really does take advantage of your opponent not knowing exactly what they're doing against you. Now, if your opponent allows you to stay unawakened for a long period of time, they will be in a bad spot. Because once you hit 4 energy and you play Source of Power of Son Goku, you will most likely awaken that turn. And you can also hold your life for your D-Magic, so they're not in the best position whenever you keep your life. And the more D-Magics and stuff like that you get across, the more Frost Poison you get to play, the more counter plays you get to play on your opponent's turn, and while you're still maintaining free advantage on your opponent's turn. Now, the Minosha is very key in this deck because discarding it off of Goku Black, if you didn't know, the 2-drop there, the 4-off. If your opponent has, if you have a blue and a yellow energy, blue-yellow energy, in your energy, you get to, at the end of turn, discard a card and draw 2, discard 1, and untap an energy, which is very powerful. So we have a 1-drop, functional +1 that resends the energy as a 15k body. So it's essentially a cycling Freehan on your turn that allows you to play with 1 energy and attack, which is pretty powerful. The discard Minosha for that still works like your leader and your super combo. one thing to note: your super combo is, in my opinion, the best super combo in the game outside of Paragus. But this, because that card draws 2 first, but it does warp the card, so that's a relevant statement because this card you can discard the Minosha and get a free plus. The other card does not. So we already talked about the legs. They're just a free +1 off your Minosha, and most of the time energy or discard fire for Goku Black or free combo 5k for defense or offense. A lot of times it's very easy to get 5 cards in your drop area for Dimension Magic in this deck. Your leader discards 1, your Goku Black discards 1, your super combo discards 1. So a lot of times I do want to take damage in this deck. So it's so weird because you want to take the damage when your opponent's hitting you or you're taking your own life, but one way or another, you want to get to 3 life, and I'll go into detail about how that's important. But Yoding's very good in this deck. I wish it was at 4. But in this deck, I don't necessarily like hold this card in my hand, but a lot of times Yoding gets to your hand eventually, just like because you're drawing so many cards. So Yoding is very key in this deck, and I will explain a little bit more. On your turn 4 is a lot of times you just kill out of nowhere. It doesn't seem like you're going to kill them, and the next thing that you know, your opponent's dead, especially if they're not ready for the, because it doesn't seem like your deck's doing too much until it's too late. For the Beer's 2-drop, Fickle God. This is your main source of blue-yellow energy as the turns go. A lot of times, your first charge will be Frost Deadly Poison, and or Beers, and then you're playing another Beers as a free energy every turn. Usually, you cannot afford not charging blue-yellow in your turn 1, so you try to mulligan for it, which is very key. You want to have a blue-yellow energy of some sort. If I see one I'm opening, I keep it no matter what it is. Other cards you want to see in your opening hand are Minosha, the Wanderer. Minosha, the Darkness. Minosha, and you want to be able to get the Wanderer, so you keep that in your deck. And then you get Goku Black, Minosha, Blue Yellow Energy, and Freehan, which is the next card. Well, next 2 cards. There's 2 Freehans now. So one is a counterplay bounce, and essentially if it's on your opponent's turn, you bounce a dude and you untap an energy. It also just can bounce a dude of 4 cards or less on your turn 2, which is kind of key for getting rid of blockers and things that are in your way. It's also a 15k body, so it's pretty neat. It costs 1 less energy on your if you have a blue-yellow energy, which is very key as well. A lot of 2-drop, 1-drop 15k beaters. The one downside about the deck, though, I will admit, is the red negates, which will usually is that all you got, can kill most of your battle cards, which is a scary thing. But if they do waste 2 cards out of their hand and then later makes them lose another card, it's usually doing their job. You gotta be a little careful about how you attack. So Freehand, why it's necessary in this deck, unlike other decks that are being played currently. Not many decks are playing combo to play battle cards other than Pan. But this deck, your turn 2 almost always wants to be Goku Black, and then on your turn, opponent's turn, they're gonna have 1 energy. You're gonna have 1 energy open, and you will then be able to protect your Goku Black and have 2 bodies on their turn to attack. On their turn that they would have to either attack and block attacks, and or just to get to attack your opponent next turn. If your opponent's playing a slow deck, it will be at your advantage to have the Rapid Spirits. And also, at the end of their last attack, you can combo like 2 of them to defend an attack, and then boom, you have 2 more attackers on their turn. A lot of decks do not like to hold their beans nowadays. They like to use their beans on attack, on their attacks. So if they're not being careful, they will just get overran by a lot of 15k beaters. Frost Deadly Poison uses your Crusher Ball and Cold Bloodlust in 1 card. Also, it will untap an energy if you're at 3 life or less, and draw your card. So you draw a card regardless, but the untap one is pretty much super important. A lot of times I will hold this card for my own turn, so that whenever counterplay cards are trying to be playing on me, I just negate them. But sometimes you can't, so it's pretty rough sometimes. But the card is very powerful in almost every matchup. And you can't really afford to side it out because you do need the blue-yellow energy. Next card, Further Destruction Champa. This is going to be either the Kai. I was actually playing the Kai in my actual deck the other day, so it doesn't really matter which one you play. But this is a card that could be bumped up to 2. But usually I do see it whenever I need it because you draw through on your entire deck with Goku Black and Hirudegarn Leader and Hoi. So you will most times see your 1-ups because you're taking your life with Source of Power, which is the next card. So you'll go draw all 7 of your life and use most of your deck in every game. So if you don't know what Source of Power does, he's the same thing as Digging Deep Vegeta. When he attacks, you can take up to 2 life, 1 or 2, and he'll gain 5,000 power and basically get to attack again. So that's pretty powerful, and also it's very important for your kill turn. I'll get into that in a second. Champa the Trickster. It's a Crusher Ball that doesn't care about deflect really, and you get to choose whatever's coming in. So if it does have this one also says ignoring barrier. Yeah, sorry. So ignoring barrier. So you get to choose ignoring barrier. They're put in rest mode. And if it's your opponent's turn, you draw a card. Very powerful. I do like the fact that this card is as a 4 of in this deck, rather over Gohan, because it draws you a card. The Spirit Gohan, the other one above, the counterplay, is very good in a lot of matchups though. So I might side the 4th or take out the all too easy for the main and side it, and then put the Undying Spirit Gohan into the main. There's only a few cards that actually flex in my opinion in this deck list. Also, so your win con, Fu the Dark Banisher. A lot of people see this as the big win con for a lot of decks these days, but not a lot of decks can get the 4 in their 8 in their drop really quickly. Hirudegarn can. So Hoy discards 1. That's 2 cards in your drop from just activating a Hoy. You draw 2 and get a free search. But no, you discard your leader 2 or 3 times, and you get the free combo and defend on your opponent's turn a few times with Hirudegarn. D-Magic, free negate, take a life, and eventually you get the 4 life very quickly with Source of Power or D-Magic. But your turn 4 is a big turn. So usually you'll have free Han on their board, a Champa counterplay, a few 15k attackers, and a Source of Power, right? So in your hand. So you'll get to play Fu at the start of your turn, and if they try to counterplay it or whatever, there's not really much they can do unless they have the Champa. But not a lot of decks are thinking you're just going to slam down a Fu on your turn 4 and try to kill them, and then they're wide open for the kill, especially the U6 decks that try to kill you on their early turns, which do have a big disadvantage against this deck in a lot of matches because they don't understand how well you can defend because you're not playing the combo draw cards, but you can still defend just about as well as Janemba does because you have so much card advantage. And the negates are very important. You can use them quickly against those double strikers, and the counterplay cards will come into play right after very easily. So you'll have like 4 energy open on their turn, even if they do tap one of your energies down with the guy, and you have the aggressive swing back at them, so they are forced to either waste cards in their hand that they would use for offense or take life, and you're fine with them taking life because your turn 4 you'll try to kill them. But if you don't know what Fu does, every time they would use a skill, they have to warp a card while he's on the board. So don't combo with him. I did the misplay on that one time in the turn, but I knew it was game regardless. But if I would have left it up, there would have been even more damage for their hand, that is. So if they do super combo, if they want to draw a card from it, and or some of them have to be at 4, have to activate by being a 4 or less, whatever, in game to 10,000. That's another skill. So they have to. It's all one skill, but still, if they want a super combo draw a card, they have to use another card in their hand. So they can get rid of an extra card or whatever, yada yada. But if they want to negate or anything while you're on the board, or is that all you got while he's on the board, it's too late. They're going to pitch a card from is that all you got, and they're going to waste another card. So that's 3 more cards out of their hand. So I made this guy, even though I didn't kill him one turn, I knocked his hand down from, I think it was 9 cards, and his hand went automatically down to like 1 card in hand in one turn. Even though I didn't kill him, he was very low in life at the end, and the next turn he just died. So it's not always a kill turn card, but it will eliminate opponent's hand because your 4 energy, your Hirudegarn leader, will take another card and put it on top of their deck. So if they let that attack go through and then you further chomp them at the end of that sequence of attacks, usually they will die. Also, putting beans on your Fu the Dark Banisher is very powerful. If you can't hold your Awaken, which is fine, you can use your Unyielding that you usually will have after playing Fu and then bean him up. Playing bean on him is very powerful. He'll be like 40k, and then next thing you know, they can't out combo it, which is pretty easy. Because most decks want to go to 4 life. So as long as you can establish a Fu and your leader swing and maybe a few more attacks, aka Swords of Power, because the bean, they're pretty much dead because they cannot survive. I think it's usually 8 or 9 attacks, even though you're not putting too much combo power into it, which is very key in some matchups because they have the ability to eliminate your combo or negate their abilities or combos, whatever. Or they want cards out of your hand. You're not really wasting any cards because of the bean, and you get to hold your combos for your opponent's turn on the clapback. Very important. You could play a third one of these, but I do not think it's necessary, and it's also a 10k combo card, so it's probably not necessary. The last card, the Secret Rare. In theory, since I haven't got to actually do it yet, it's a blue-yellow energy. You need to open your hand, so you only have a total of 9, and then you have a card that wipes out your opponent's energy or battle cards that are in your way, like the blockers, and you draw 4 cards. And drawing 4 cards in Hirudegarn almost guarantees you into every thing you want. All your beans, your unyielding, all that stuff for your kill turn that you've been saving, and then it's triple strike, so it's pretty broken. Also, if you don't know how this card gets cheaper, it's a 5 cost card if your opponent has 6 or more things tapped. Usually, most decks do tap a lot of cards on their turn 4, turn 5, trying to push in on this deck, and they can't. And the next thing you know, Vegito is here with his friend Kefla and Zamasu. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to know anything else about the deck profile, please comment below. There's not too much more I can tell you in this video unless you want me to tell you exactly what to do on certain matchups, because this deck has an advantage in almost every matchup possible. There are very few decks now that have good matchups in this deck. I do not want to go into the detail about those right now because I'd rather not play against them. But but they're still winnable. But the thing is, you have to play a little more leader based in those matchups, as a hint. But thank you guys for watching, and I really do appreciate the love that I've been getting lately on the channel. Please check out the opening videos and the other deck profiles that we're going to be posting. And I'm going to do more videos like this because lately I haven't had the most organized area, and my girlfriend's kind of not in the position to where she wants to record a lot of videos since she's pregnant with 2 babies on the way. But I do appreciate her taking the time to record the videos with me and spend time with me and stuff like this that she doesn't really care too much about. But thank you guys for watching again, and shout out to channelslayer.com.